welcome to The Take. I'm Elizabeth Wagmeister.
And I'm Clayton Davis, and we're here to give you our take on some of the week's biggest stories. Elizabeth, we have COVID, we have Harvey, and then we have some MCU news.
Wide range of news stories this week, but let's start off on a bit of a more serious note, as the Delta variant is causing a spike in COVID infections around the world. Well, Hollywood, no movie magic here. We are not safe either. Hollywood appears to be once again on the brink of shutting down. Major productions have had positive COVID cases. I'm talking Westworld, Bridgerton, American Horror Story. The Emmys once again not doing the Governor's Ball after party. This is a big deal. We as journalists, we like to be out and about. It felt like the world was just bouncing back. I'm vaccinated. My only take is everybody, please get vaccinated. And even if you are, this is still really scary. There's so much we don't know.
No, you're right. Everyone should get vaccinated. But I think what everyone needs to do is we let our guard down. It's not over yet. We have to be cautious. And Hollywood and studios, everyone needs to look at what worked last year and what didn't. That's at films, television shows, events like award shows. And be ready with a plan B in case this goes south really quickly, which it obviously can.
You know, it's really interesting because just in the past few days, the major Hollywood studios and the major guilds, they did reach a short-term agreement, which basically says that productions can force people to be vaccinated on sets. But the big problem here is there's no rhyme or reason. There's no standard from set to set, and that's really confusing.
COVID is causing question marks, which actually brings us to our next point, is that the Toronto International Film Festival announced its full lineup, which includes the big musical adaptation of Dear Evan Hansen, the live-action adaptation of the cartoon Clifford the Big Red Dog, and the long-delayed Dune from Denis Villeneuve. This brings about another question because the Delta variant is doing its thing. TIFF early on was thought to not be in person,
right?
But now that we are kind of getting to this point and Canada just lifted restrictions, they're saying we can do some in-person events. Denis Villeneuve, who's by the way getting a special tribute award at TIFF, he lives in Canada. So for him to go from Venice, which takes place September 3rd, and go to Canada, he's going home, that's fine. But do we really want everyone just traveling and cross-polluting each other? You know, over the next few weeks, we don't know. But TIFF has a huge question mark. We don't know what's gonna happen there. And Wednesday, the United States just extended border from Canada and Mexico, no crossings for non-essential travel until August 21st. We don't know how much longer that's gonna last or if that's gonna be extended. No one wants to be, stuck in Canada for an event.
Right, no, it really seems to be day by day. It literally feels like deja vu, COVID 1.0 or COVID 2.0, but you were talking about traveling. So let's talk about someone else who was just traveling, even though I don't think that he wanted to be. Harvey Weinstein, the convicted rapist who is currently serving a 23-year sentence in New York. He has just been extradited to Los Angeles. He is now in prison in LA, and he had his arraignment this week. He is facing 11 charges of sexual assault and rape here in Los Angeles, and he entered a non-guilty plea. Now, Clayton, you know that I covered the New York trial. I was in court every single day for the 2-month trial, and I just want to say that my take, which I am also relaying for many of the survivors that I have had the opportunity to interview, is that this trial is really important. Even though Harvey Weinstein is already behind bars, already serving 23 years, a lot of people say, why do we need another trial? He's already in jail. The reason why is because it's so important for all of these women to have their day in court and to be able to seek justice. Now, based on these 11 charges, if convicted on all, Harvey Weinstein could be serving another 140 years in prison.
Yes, and every victim deserves their day in court. This is a and I say good signal for victims of sexual abuse and misconduct. But we start to wonder, is he a symbol for the Me Too movement always, or is he the tip of the iceberg? It's actually a scary question. I was speaking to a journalist recently who told me that she believed the Me Too movement was over because of things that happened with Bill Cosby. He got convicted and then was overturned.
That was based on a legal technicality.
It's a legal technicality, but still you can't help but feel discouraged.
Of course.
In this time where we're not seeing everyone get their fair shake and people really feel like they're getting justice. Harvey is a symbol for everything, but we have a problem in this town, in Hollywood, in the world, and it needs to be addressed. I'm not sure if we're moving as fast as we think we are.
We are moving at a glacial pace. It took decades upon decades to get Harvey in court, let alone to see a conviction, is really unheard of and quite amazing that it even happened, because this town works too slowly and the justice system works too slowly. Cosby, you're completely right, even though it was on a legal technicality, of course, sends a terrifying message. But let's move on to some Marvel news, shall we? That seems to be
Marvel.
A bit more fun. Not so much fun, though, for the National Association of Theater Owners, who is slamming Disney because of Black Widow's release. So Black Widow, it was in theaters, but simultaneously was released on Disney+. While it was a huge success for pandemic standards, made $80 million domestically at the box office opening weekend, an additional $60 million on the streaming service. Now, I am all for this simultaneous release model. I know this might be a controversial take. I actually love watching movies on my couch. I love theater for live events, for films. I think I'm a couch person now, but what's your take on all of this, Clayton?
I'm a purist. Theaters are church. You go there to praise and worship. You go there to meet the Lord. So I will always prefer theater. However, Black Widow is a good signal, that the movie theaters can and will come roaring back. And I think that we're going to have more success, but even more good news that came with Marvel. Michaela Cole, an exclusive to Variety.
Yes.
Shout out to Variety there, that we have Michaela Cole joining the Black Panther universe. She's going to Wakanda. We don't know what her role is, but there is some internet chatter that's hoping and praying that she's Storm in X-Men, because X-Men is Marvel property, and we know we're probably a little while from getting an X-Men movie reboot.
There
again.
you go. Well, you know, Clayton, anytime we could end the week on some good Marvel news, I'm in. But there is going to be more news next week. And as always, we are here every single Friday with a brand new episode of The Tape.
Thanks for watching.